Alright guys, sorry it's been a while. Holidays and sickness and just weather has prevented us from coming out, and the 9 to 5, which mentions my sponsors, myself. So now we've got collected and back out. 2026 is going to be a year of tinkering for me. It's going to be getting old forgotten projects back out and restarting with those. First one being this old 1022 that we had worked with some time back, and for some reason just decided to quit shooting. It shot pretty good, and this all of a sudden it just started stringing them everywhere. Groups started growing. Changed the trigger. It's got a Green Mountain barrel, kid single stage trigger. We just changed a bunch of stuff, and we're going to go through the process of elimination, see if we can figure out what has happened to this gun and if we can get it shooting again. We're going to start with the simplest and just go try some different torque specs on the stock. This is just a stock wood Sporter factory stock, and we're going to try to keep it in that. As you all know, if you watch my channel, I like wood stocks, but if it comes down to that being the issue, then we'll just have to go with a chassis or something like that. But I don't want to if I don't have to. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do is start with a baseline torque spec on this by loosening it, and we're going to start at 10 pounds. Let's see, I need to tighten her up. And we'll start back at 10, and we'll shoot 5-shot groups. Let's see, put her back in here and set my torque at 10. And keep changing the torque specs until we get to about 25 pounds. I don't want to go over 25. And we'll see which of these groups tend to group a little bit better. So always kind of put a little bit of pressure down, and we'll tighten her up to 10 pound 3 times. All right, there's 10. This gun has always somewhat liked CCI standard, and since we know it kind of likes those, we're going to leave that as the test ammo. And if we could get it shooting again, we'll start trying some more match type ammo with it and see if we get those groups back. But for now, we'll start on the left with 10 inch-pounds of torque on the stock. Alright. We're not worried about where it's hitting at, just a group. Alright. First group, not that great. It kind of throwed them everywhere. So we'll check and make sure that one of my, I really dislike this about a 1022 is the bolt does not stay back on empty. I really dislike it. But we'll go ahead and torque it up about 2 more pounds. We'll go to 12, which I'm going to assume is about there. All right, let's start back. CCI standard. about anything will shoot it okay. Nothing will shoot it that great. But it does okay for experimentation. Alright, let's go to the second target from the right with 12 inch pounds. Alright, that seemed to have gotten a little worse. Of course, it is windy. Let's move on up. We'll just go to 15. We'll take it up to 15. About right there. We'll see what that does. Let's see how that groups. Right now, the stock torque doesn't seem to be making the difference. It's shooting about like it was beforehand. Little wild. It doesn't help it. It's about 22 degrees out here today. All right, 15 at third target over. That timed it up a little bit. And I do know one of those was a bad trigger pull on my end. Let's go ahead and move up to about 18. About 18. We're going small increments. And let's see how this does. Next to the last at 15. Be consistent with my hold here. Starting to spread a little bit on me. We'll run it up to 20. See what that seems to do for it. So I know I said earlier I was going to run it up to about 25. But if it continues to throw wild, we'll just stop at 20, which is where we're at right now. And we'll start looking at some other issues. We know that so far 15 has done okay. All right, the last 5 at 20 inch-pounds, farthest right target. I could tell a sound difference in that shot. That's how inconsistent that ammo is. All right, we had a malfunction, but we're back to finish out this at 20 inch-pounds. Well, I can tell you 20 is not the torque for that because it has went downhill from 15. So I believe we're going to run it back down to 15 inch-pounds and start looking at some other factors, because even at 15, I'm not very satisfied with how it shoots now compared to how it used to shoot. And we're going to start looking at some other variables. The first one will be this. Not very happy with how it's doing right now, so our next change before we bring it out will probably be the replacement of this scope. We'll come back out and try it with the 15 inch-pounds and see how it does. If that tends to help, we'll start with the ammo and see if we can get it dialed in, how good it can shoot. If not, we'll go on to something else. So it may be getting rid of the beloved old wood stock, but we'll see. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Leave me a comment. I like to hear from you. If you think you might know what could be the cause of the inaccuracy all of a sudden, let me know. I'll try about anything, because, you know, this year I'm all about tinkering with stuff and gadgets. So, thank you.